How far are we down the road with the Muslim Brotherhood in Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia is Muslim Brotherhood. You have to remember that. If you remember, the person of interest from Saudi Arabia in the Boston Marathon bombing was al-Harbi, completely off DHS radar screen. DHS informs TheBlaze that they have absolutely no idea where this guy even is. They could check his Facebook, I think, maybe. I mean, as recently as Monday, he wrote, "I recognize that my page has been watched carefully from the disgusting media, but I extremely don't care. I just want you to know, nobody in the media is looking at his. This is paranoid delusion. Nobody from the media cares about this guy." I don't know how this guy was involved, but he's involved. And our sources told TheBlaze today and used him as an example. If you ever get in trouble, pray to God that you are a Saudi national, because the Saudi nationals have privileges that you no longer have. It is almost an ambassador stance with the American government and any Saudi national. If you're a Saudi national, you are practically have diplomatic status in this country. I want you to recall the timeline. Person of interest in custody. He has an event file created on him, labels him involved in terrorist activity. And after Obama and Kerry hold meetings with Saudi Arabian officials, unannounced, new to their schedule, not on their schedule, and it just happened suddenly, it's all a big mistake, and now we can't locate him. We also know that the Sarnav brothers attended a radical Boston mosque that is supported by the Muslim Brotherhood, which is Saudi Arabia. We know Saudi Arabia is involved. We know the Muslim Brotherhood also has enemies with al-Qaeda. And I want you to understand that al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood, it's like the Blood versus the Crips. They're both nasty groups, okay? But the Bloods versus the Crips, they don't get along. They may both have Saudi Arabians in them, but they're at war with each other, okay? It's important to know that because we have picked either the Bloods or the Crips, I'm not sure. We've picked the Muslim Brotherhood, and so has Saudi Arabia. And so we're both going after al-Qaeda, but not the Muslim Brotherhood. And that's critical for you to understand. Let's not forget, the two suspects, the new ones, also go to the mosque. These are the two new guys. These were announced today. They go to the same mosque. But don't worry, it's a religion of peace. It's a mosque of peace. It's got all kinds of credibility. They were defending Martin Luther King, right? We learned today that in 2002, months before the marathon attack, Saudi Arabia also sent to the State Department, Homeland Security, to the highest levels in DHS and the State Department, a written warning about Tamerlan. Now, this intelligence is completely independent of Russians' flagging of Tamerlan and based on human intel developed in Yemen. Also, the Saudis shared this information with Great Britain. So we have Saudi Arabia knowing it, we have Great Britain knowing it, we have Russia knowing it, but somehow or another we didn't. Tamerlan was attempting to make a pilgrimage to Mecca. The Saudis were concerned. They said, "You're too much of an extremist to go to Mecca." Well, how big of an extremist do you have to be? And here's where it really gets interesting. Everybody knew. And here's the FBI response.
With the media's help, in an instant, these images will be delivered directly into the hands of millions around the world. We know the public will play a critical role in identifying and locating these individuals.
In identifying these individuals. Yeah, somebody knows them all right. If only the federal government had one of them fancy information boxes, you know, you could type into with a TV screen right there and type them, maybe they could match the face with a name. You know, maybe this could have all been avoided, but we don't have that. This is actual footage. Here is the FBI looking through their database. They have to go by hand and take the pictures and try to match. Is it that guy? Is that guy? I don't really know. I'm sorry, I'm being told by Tiffany that this is, I can't confirm this, but she says this is old technology, that they actually do have that scanning thing where you can take a face and match it right away, called a computer. I don't really know. Anyway, the Saudi foreign minister, the national security chief, both meet with Obama in the Oval Office in early 2013. Then they meet again after the bombings. And no one in the room thought to bring up the terrorists and say, "Hey, do you guys know this guy?" Because, "Oh, we don't really know." And they would have said, "Yeah, we wrote a letter." You know? No. The FBI just had pictures in a file. Russia They knew who Tamerlan was. They knew what he looked like. They alerted us. But we couldn't remember that. Saudi Arabia knew who Tamerlan was, alerted us at the highest levels. Saudi Arabia also alerted Great Britain, so they knew. It's like the 6 degrees of Tamerlan. Everybody seems to know this guy, except you, me, and DHS, and the FBI. That's funny, isn't it? Everybody's so well informed on this guy. Even Janet Napolitano says that she was pinged at DHS, but the FBI comes out and says this.
Somebody out there knows these individuals as friends, neighbors, co-workers, or family members of the suspects.
Yeah, you guys do. You guys do. But it must have been the card file. Bring the card file back. It must have been that they were working like this overhand. I'm not sure. Maybe they're working by hand. They couldn't even identify someone that they met with in the office of Boston. Nobody looked at those pictures and went, hey, Bill, wasn't this guy in our office? Didn't we talk to him a little while ago about Muslim extremism? Instead, they locked down an entire city, and some unidentified armed force conducts illegal searches of homes. An officer gets shot. Boy, that's like the Keystone Cops. Are we really this incompetent? Or is something else happening? Go for the incompetence. I'd rather go for the incompetence. It'd make me sleep at night. But I don't think that's incompetence because the president says the FBI did a heck of a job. Watch.
What I can say is that based on what I've seen so far, the FBI performed its duties. Department of Homeland Security did what it was supposed to be doing.
Really? Really? We had several specific warnings on a specific individual. FBI, DHS, notified on the individual by Russia. They called him up. Saudi Arabia calls him up. Janet Napolitano, Homeland Security, was pinged. 2 bombs go off in Boston, all set off by that same individual. The FBI comes out and says, hey, can anybody help us find that kid? We haven't seen this guy before. We don't have any idea. I want my taxes back. If that is operating the way it's supposed to, I want my tax dollars back. If allowing terrorist attacks to happen after ignoring specific warnings is what the FBI and DHS is supposed to be doing, Mr. President, I want my tax dollars back. Whoa! Get ready for some more blood in the streets, America. Oh, don't forget, there's the memo sent out by John Kerry's State Department stating, if you're not directly involved in this case, don't talk about it. I'd like to have a conversation with the president, but I can't remember. I only have a description of him, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper. We've been trying to match his face with his name, but it's really complex. I have to go through the card file, and I mean, we found one guy just based on the description. I mean, I'm not sure if that's him. There's a flag behind him, a blue deal, and he's got the ears. We're still, if you know who this man is, or if you can confirm that this is the President of the United States, let me know. Last time the President was spotted on the golf course, but we don't know where he is. He is unarmed, but he is dangerous. Don't approach him yourself. Call me. Mr. President, I'd like to sit down with you, because if you're this clueless to the corruption that is going around you, you need to excuse yourself. Or is it that you are part of it? We have been sold lock, stock, and barrel to Saudi Arabia and the Muslim Brotherhood. I don't care how it started. I believe it started in the 1970s because we needed Saudis for their oil or what, I don't know. We got into bed with them in the 1980s because we needed bin Laden to go up against Russia. I told you earlier, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's not. It's not. If you don't want to believe me about the Saudi Arabia thing in the media, that's fine. Fine. But here's what I do need you to really consider and do your own homework on, and then call your congressman. Find out how many people are overstaying their visas. Do your own homework. We did just a run-of-the-mill search. 75,000 kids are here on visas. 15,000 of them are missing. We don't even know, we have no idea. 3 of the 5 suspects that we have arrested have overstayed their visas. One of them was actually canceled and said, get out, by a judge. And they let him back in 2 weeks later. The negligence is beyond your wildest understandings. 3 of the 4 now been arrested. How many more have overstayed their visas? Ask that question relentlessly. Ask that question. Does it matter where it started? Yep, because we got to fire the dirt bags. But what matters more at this point on the choo-choo track is where we're going. Can you clean it up in time? We're nice and cozy now with the Muslim Brotherhood. And it's no different than what FDR did with the communists. They brought them right into our camp. Because we have to fight Hitler. That's what we've done with the Muslim Brotherhood. We brought them into the highest levels because we have to beat Al-Qaeda. Gang, we don't have 40 years for our country to last after they've been brought into our own house. It won't last. Did I tell you about the train tracks? Next stop, Clayton Ravine. Yeah, I don't know if we can save the little school teacher this time. Why? Oh, reason 1471. Something really fun next. Your tax dollars straight to terrorist. Your brain explodes here in just a minute.